Yeah, she just looked like a linebacker.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, fucking
Go. Hello and welcome in to Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. Ooh, that's a good beer, Josh. Someone had sushi today.
Very dry.
Asahi.
I'm kind of obsessed with dry beer right now. Like, it's really good, dude.
Yeah, but I bet it doesn't quench your thirst. Anyway, we've got a Coors Light over here. That was a dad joke right there if you were listening. That is a Coors Light.
Folks, we're having a good time out here on Popcorn and Beer.
Come on, Josh. Everybody's just trying to have a good time. All right, so as always, we've got our butter on top this week. We've got our drunk classic this week, and weirdly enough, they kind of went together, which is interesting. But just so we can get started, Jordan, our butter on top this week was ARGYLLE, and it took me far too long to understand the joke there that I care to admit. But what did you think of ARGYLLE?
Well, it wasn't that great or creative of a joke, to be honest. So it's okay. You weren't really missing out of anything with everyone else. I don't think anybody really laughed at it or, whatever. Also, the whole tagline to the movie just doesn't really make sense to me. The greater the lie, the bigger the spy, or the bigger the spy, the bigger the lie.
Spy, the bigger the lie.
And that doesn't really make sense in any context of the movie. It just kind of rhymes.
Yeah.
It's a stacked cast. Everybody looks like they're having fun just making this movie. It's a ridiculous premise. But it kind of feels like they're executing it pretty well, kind of tongue in cheek, and they're stringing it along, and it's like, okay, you start to come around to this movie, and then the last 30 minutes happens.
I'm so with you. I am so with you.
There's 4 climactic sequences in the last 30 minutes, and they just get progressively worse and worse and worse and worse. It very slowly just drives off of a cliff.
Yeah.
It's we kind of call it the American version of Kingsman. A girly, female, more oriented American Kingsman. But Kingsman is really, really good.
What is the Steve Carell movie, Get Smart, where he plays the spy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead.
Okay, yeah. The cat. The cat is the draw of this movie. The cat is super cute. It's one of the cutest cats I've ever seen.
The tabby.
And they utilize it not too annoyingly. It has funny moments. Cavill. He looks like a Frankenstein dum-dum in that stupid outfit with that stupid hair.
Oh my gosh, that's my first dog. That's my first note. What's up with Cavill's hair?
Yeah.
That's my very first note. His hair, he does not have the facial structure to pull off that hair. He's a handsome man, and that hair made him look dumb as shit.
Yeah, he looked like an anime character for sure. The gold sequins dress, her moment where she's like, oh, she has realized who she is and has become, she's the bad chick at the end, you know what I mean? When she's fully realized and she's ready to kick butt. And, usually they have that moment where they change into their bad chick outfit.
Yeah.
And I was really bothered by that choice that they put on her. I love me some Bryce Dallas Howard, but it wasn't flattering. And I don't know. It took me out of a bit of it. Yeah. And, I hate that she drops the cat and says that she hates cats. That really turned me off to her character.
Stop messing with pets.
No, she didn't drop the cat. Bryan Cranston dropped the cat. He said, I hate cats too. And he dropped the backpack.
I hated that. That was that hurt.
The cat go. But what's funny is you hear the cat go, ugh. Because you don't see it behind a desk. It's a desk. But he drops it, and you do hear the cat go, ugh.
At the end there, wait, was it what I'm trying to think of there? I really thought that John Cena and Cavill were about to kiss each other. Just saying, there was like they had like a tender moment, and I was like, they're about to kiss. In the I don't want to spoil anything, but in the context of the movie of who Cavill really is and who Cena's character is, it kind of made sense for them to, but they didn't, and whatever. Popcorn and one.
Puppy one.
Have you ever really, really, really wanted to like a movie?
Yeah.
And it just won't let you?
Yes. Yes.
That
Yes.
was
Yes.
this movie for me.
Yes.
Like there were parts of it where like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I can buy this kind of okay, this is it. And then
Yeah,
there were
let 'em
parts
cook.
where I was just like, what am I watching? What is happening right now? And it's like 40 minutes too long. It's like 40 minutes too long. It is. And they have a cut scene after the credits. I didn't stay for it.
Oh, really?
That's
I
how-
didn't either.
I was so turned off by the last 30, 40 minutes. Nice. Good job, Josh.
It kind of looks like John Cena. It kind of looks like John Cena and Argyle.
It does.
Pirate Guile. ARGYLLE. Get it?
Yeah.
This could be a new space for you on the show, Josh. Just as everybody's talking about the movies you haven't seen.
Yeah, all the
You
movies
can
I
draw-
haven't seen, I'll just draw you some pictures.
But yeah, and I want to remind the audience really quick. Remember, Josh is a participating producer. Josh is not obligated to share his musings with you, not obligated to share his thoughts with you. He's mainly here to produce the content and produce the show. So he does it at his own volition. But yeah, like that's the best thing I could say is like I really wanted to like this movie. Rockwell tries his damnedest to save this movie. Like Rockwell is acting his ass off in this movie, and he can't save it. He is easily my favorite part of the film. I'm partial, I understand that, but he was funny. His one-liners were good. His delivery was right on. The only thing that took me out of it was really there is an unnecessary love connection that I just didn't need. I was like, this is so unnecessary. I don't need a love story right in the middle of this movie. Like this doesn't need to happen. Everyone, stop doing it. You don't always have to inject a love story into every damn movie. It's fine. And she was a badass and she didn't need a love story. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it was unnecessary. But the editing in the train sequence was so good. I will say that. And I loved whenever the secret agent is getting his ass kicked, it's Sam Rockwell. Whenever the secret agent is kicking ass, it's Henry Cavill. And I thought that was fantastic. So poor Sam Rockwell exists to get his ass kicked, and Henry Cavill exists to kick ass in this movie. And it is funny the way they use these two characters and these two actors in their roles. But yeah, I don't think we had enough John Cena, to be honest. I think he was in it not enough. He didn't have a ton of lines. Dua Lipa wasn't in the movie enough. I liked Dua Lipa. I thought since we find out that character's backstory, we could have used that character more and given Dua Lipa a chance. I did not think she acted bad, but of course I'm not the director. But from what I saw, she was one of the best parts of the film. There is a fight scene that had every opportunity to be great, but just was annoying. And there's an ice skating scene that doesn't make physics look good at all.
And the whole secret keeper, whole sequence in the desert just it added nothing to the movie.
Yeah, absolutely zero.
Yeah.
Catherine O'Hara, she's great. She's fantastic in everything, and too much of other things that's just unnecessary. The twist was fine. It's Jason Bourne meets Get Smart, I guess is what they're going for here. That's why I asked you, Jordan, what is it? I did not see any Kingsman. I saw a lot of, hey, we're going to go for a Jason Bourne-y vibe here, but then we're going to make it stupid. It's stupid.
Too. If you watch Kingsman, watch one and then watch one with Ralph Fiennes. Very good.
That's it.
And yeah, don't watch the second one. Very bad.
They went for some Deadpool goofiness in Argyle. They did do that, and it didn't work. That's just not who Bryce is. That's not how she's viewed as an actress. She just doesn't have that Ryan Reynolds style charisma. If you're going to do that, you got to go with like an Anna Kendrick, who has that sarcasm, that snarkiness to them that can pull off that humor. Bryce doesn't have that to her game, unfortunately. It's not believable when she's acting in that role. So for me, it was also a pop one. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, Has there ever been a movie that you really, really wanted to like, and it had some good things about it, but it just will not let you like it? And that was this film. Anyway, moving on from the butter on top. If you want to take 3 hours out of your day, go see it. It's not awful. There are some very good parts of it, but it's just, for us, it didn't ever get there. It never got there. But thank you, Sam Rockwell, for doing everything you can. Thank you, Samuel L. Jackson, for doing everything you can. But great cast. Just didn't land the plane. But you know what? We did have a drunk classic, Mr. Josh. Josh, it was your pick, and what'd you choose?
They Came Together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
A little bit of a double entendre.
So on that note, we got our list back. I think is accurate, or we're just going to say that it is. We had to revise it. Had we seen They Came Together, Fry?
Fry saw it.
Fry saw it. Jordan? Have not.
I did not.
Bing bong.
I did not.
Why would you not make the line over the 4? Why would you?
Because that's a half point. It's forever tainted until we get another half point.
Okay, fair enough.
This is my world.
This is my scoreboard. When you have a scoreboard, you keep score your way.
Yeah, maybe you'll have a little spinning wheel or something on it. You could be creative. Anyway, speaking of creativity, speaking of landing the plane, They Came Together, I say, is like the spiritual, actual sequel to Wet Hot American Summer. Wouldn't you agree? Very similar vibes, almost the same cast.
Very wet Hot American Summer.
It's just one of those movies that's total spoof, and they draw from a lot of different movies and just amalgamate everything and make fun of it. And it's like you kind of have to watch. You gotta pay attention because there's jokes like every single moment. Something happening in the background and blah, 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 blah. Not a lot I want to say. It's just a good popcorn and 2 for me. I literally watched it and then watched it again like the next day. Just some things that I love. The basketball scene with all the bros and how like no one's actually playing basketball. They're just making basketball moves. And then like he's giving a big soliloquy about love. And then 2 players just start running behind him. And that was so funny. And you can definitely see
the audience exactly who the character is. This is you. Yeah. This is the role you play in this movie, by the way.
Oh, when are you gonna get over yourself? I won't. This is who I play. Oh, that was good. I love that stuff, and it's. I'm gonna have to cut this part, but I won't cut this part yet. But what the movie had was like really good jokes, but then it was once in a while they hit you with a line that just makes you bust up, and maybe there's like 3 or 4 of those in the movie in total, but like it peppers you with good jokes that you're like, but then once in a while, like, cut this part.
Bill Hader was an underrated part of this. Like when he's
you're right, big time.
Usually that leads to divorce. Usually that leads to divorce. Oh, I wish it would. No, but seriously, we're getting a divorce.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see you again.
No, I literally want to end my life. Bill Hader, some of the stuff he said.
He's barely in the movie, but he's in throughout it. So he makes a massive amount of time for the space on camera. And that goes for most people. Yeah. There's a lot of people in this. UCB people, mainly SNL people. Michael Ian Black.
Michael Ian Black was great.
He was great. The scene where what's his face is hanging out the window
right now.
Yeah,
he has a friend in the window. Oh my god, I died.
He has a bowl of opened condoms.
Yeah.
When that scene happened with the guy hanging out the window and Michael Ian Black comes in, I texted like 2 or 3 people immediately, like, watch this movie right now, please.
Lastly, I just like the brother forgiveness scene when they just have that. I sold that tire to get food in your belly and a shirt on your back.
The tire swing.
I know you remember the tire swing, Joel. And then the way it starts out with Paul Rudd, he's like, "Of course you are, of course you are." Like the whole, I love the delivery everyone has. They fully commit. Popcorn and 2.
No, I'm on break. What do you mean you're on break? I'm not going to make it. but not for you, bro.
It's so classic. Every line, man.
Did you shit in your costume and take it off and leave it in the bathroom?
Dude, oh my god. My favorite sequence of that movie. Hilarious.
No, of course not. It was a bit itchy, so I took it off and traded it in for shower guy costume.
Oh, didn't it? What wasn't this? Perhaps like maybe top 5 best sex scenes ever on film.
Yeah. Yes,
Oh,
I wouldn't know that. Yes,
Yeah.
The next
Like
one.
from start to
When
finish,
he's,
it was like hilarious.
Bill Hader. Oh man, how'd you do that move where you had her on your feet and you just let her drop on your stuff? And he's like, I didn't do that. He
Yeah.
goes, oh, you didn't? He goes, no, that wasn't a part of my story at all. Oh, maybe I was just picturing it.
Kudos.
There's a lot to grip onto, but yeah, it is very, very, very much wet hot American summer. So if you're not into that, you will not get the jokes at all. Like Josh said, it's the whole cast, but it's very quotable. Like throughout the movie, like what's the point of owning a candy company? It's not to make money; it's to make people happy.
Or the cup of Joel is just a coffee maker outside the shop. It was so funny.
So
it wasn't really anything.
You guys are together? So you guys are together? No. The cup of Joel didn't work out. When I really thought about it, it was just a coffee maker outside of a candy store.
It was nothing.
It was nothing. The Michael Ian Black stuff going on in the background when he's getting ready to propose is fantastic. Especially like when you look at the size of Michael Ian Black and what the moves that are going on behind Paul Rudd. And I'm just like, it's just like he's not strong enough to do any of that. Like what's happening right now? The actress that plays the ex-girlfriend, you're not just doing this to get over your boyfriend because you're feeling bad about yourself right now, are you? That's exactly why I'm here.
Yeah. And then the reveal.
Smolders? Kobe Smolders?
Yeah.
So she's also in a very funny, where she has a similar scene. She's in a funny TV show that runs for 2 seasons on Netflix called Friends from College. And she plays a similar character, a little bit different, but similar character. And she's just good in that role. Overall, I give it a pop too. Jordan?
Yeah, I was kind of thrown by her being like the hot, like the the smoke show main trouble girl, you know what I mean? Just because I picture her from like, isn't she like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yep.
Yeah. The Marvel show. Yeah. So I just was like, wait a minute, that is her. Like, super. I'm not saying like anything's changed. She's still super hot now. You know what I mean? But I was just like, whoa, it kind of was throwing me for a bit. But like the first 5 minutes of this movie, I'm like, my first note is corny, cheesy, but it knows it and leans into it well. And then I quickly realized, no, wait, that is the movie. Like it's a like I didn't have no idea that this was like a parody or like a satire. I just thought it was. Cool. I just thought it was like a rom-com that was, So yeah, that was that's what I'm saying. As soon as that window scene happened. The window scene happened. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is great. This is funny."
Yeah. Are you still following me? I'm going this direction, but it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. And when you came in here looking like crap, and you haven't said much. You can say that again. You came here looking like crap and you haven't said much. Tell me about it. Well, you came in here looking like crap and you haven't said much. You can say that again. Like. Goes on for way too long that it becomes funny again like 3 times. Like you're like over it and then you start laughing again. Fantastic. The Bubby scene at the end.
God. That was so
they're just staring at him. They're just staring at Paul Rudd at the dinner table. And he's like, so anyway.
Yeah. Oh my God.
This is crazy.
Very funny. Michael Shannon at the end with the sword just comes, the katana just come running at him. Just so many great, just random, fantastic scenes. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a popcorn and 2 as well. In the parody satire category, for sure, a popcorn and 2.
Yeah, it's right up there with Airplane or anything else.
Yeah.
Take it for what it is. Take it for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I can't honestly give any kind of parody satire. Like a pop 3 seems a little high just for in the genre in general. So I think a pop 2 is about as high as it gets.
Yeah, that's the threshold.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they respected what they were, you know, like, and I love that they made fun of New York being super self-indulgent, and I love it when they make fun of Hollywood being super self-absorbed. Well, there's really 3 characters in our story if you think about it. One's the city.
Yeah,
and they really only use that for like 10 minutes of the movie, and then they don't ever talk about it again. It's just like it was clearly making fun of those movies, like when they do that. And there hasn't been a lot of movies that have come out here in England that I could watch in regards to the Oscar race, because I'm waiting for things to come out. Probably see Zone of Interest this weekend. So I watched Six Nations, which is a documentary about rugby. And Six Nations is a rugby cup here in Europe, where you have Scotland, Wales, Ireland, England, Italy, and France, all competing for a rugby trophy, or for a Grand Slam title is what they call it. And it goes into all of the characters and all of the players and all of the coaches that make up this league and how rough rugby is. And you get a little look inside their lives. You get a look inside what rugby is. And to an American, kind of like for me, it's what got people into F1 with that TV show that they have on Netflix. They did it with rugby now. And I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I might like rugby now. It'll suck you in and you start to care about the characters. You care about their families. And you understand what it's like when you do something for your entire life and this trophy means everything to you, because whether you like sports or not, you can understand what it's like to pursue something your whole life and have that goal right in front of you. It's there in front of them, but you see their backgrounds and you see with these characters like how rugby saved their life. You have immigrants that became great, people that grew up in drugs and alcohol like most sports, and they use this sport as their way out. So for me, overall, I'll give that series a pop 2. Jordan, what was the first thing you were watching?
The first thing I watched was a Netflix movie, and it's a foreign film, a German film called Blood and Gold, World War II. It's dubbed over into English, and it's kind of a weird dynamic because I don't know if you want to, it's you know, kosher or whatever to have German people making a movie where they're playing Nazis. Just how they portray the dynamic of that. It's just odd. It just doesn't settle well. It throws me a bit. Yeah. They try their best not to, because it's illegal. I'm right. It's to have a lot of the actual Nazi insignia, and it's kind of inferred
stuff. Yeah,
there's a little bit of it, like the very, very bare minimum of like swastikas and stuff going on. Very, very bare minimum, but it's kind of inferred that they're Nazis and they're called Nazis, but they try to keep it very, very minimal. But yeah, anyways, it's supposed to be a lighter movie, a funner. It's like based more on a treasure hunt. That's kind of like a scramble for some missing treasure as World War II closes to an end. The action sequences are awesome. Super, super awesome. It's gory, it's creative, it's funny, all kind of at the same time. The main actor guy is kind of odd looking, as in like he's just like the most cartoonishly masculine looking guy you've ever seen.
He's odd looking.
Yeah. He's just
the lead character. Well, as a human, he just looks weird.
He just looks like you drew like statue muscle man that kicks ass, like
Bison in the Street Fighter movie.
Yes.
From the 90s.
Yeah. It's hard. I can't judge any of the acting because it's dubbed over into English, so I'm not gonna say that was bad or anything. I thought the characters were interesting and funny. It's very Tarantino stylized, except it's very short. Tarantino movies usually drag on a bit. It's a short movie. I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So it was a really short movie. The ending sequence just dragged on way too long in this. So I give it a popcorn 1. Not a bad movie. It's worth a watch.
Pop and 1. Next for me, I watched the Alexander documentary series on Netflix that just came out. And most people that are around me enough know that like I'm kind of a sucker for these. Anytime I get a documentary mixed with some acting out what history kind of shows happen, I get sucked in. Like I watched the whole
Mhm.
Rome series that Netflix did. I watched the whole African Queen series. I watched the Pirate series, the Samurai series, the Constantinople series. I will watch Netflix. If you can hear me, you do these the best.
Mhm.
And this is the best thing you do. And if you haven't caught on yet and you like history, like they do these very well. They dig in, they get great historians to participate within these documentaries, and you learn a lot as you're going through it about their stories and what occurred throughout history. This one appears to be getting a second season, so we're going to go further into Alexander's conquest across Asia, and you see here where it started, how he became the king he is, and how the mythology behind Alexander got started. For those of you that don't know, he was considered a living god for a majority of his life. And you see how he got that moniker and where it came from. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give that one a top 3. Jordan?
Yeah. I watched Beckett on Netflix.
Beckett.
Beckett. And this is starring John David Washington. The movie on its surface, like on the preview, doesn't look all that, it doesn't draw you in, but I'm kind of a sucker for John David Washington just because I love Denzel Washington. So, you know, a little bit of
So
nepotism
about
there.
the transitive properties.
Yeah. Should be good. Everything he does should be pretty good. He trained with the best his whole life. I have no clue what's happening till about halfway through this movie. And then it's still the payoff of finding out what's happening is like, all right, I guess. It's just the movie it's one of those movies where it's like a foreign country nightmare. You know, you get caught up in some kind of political turmoil and you don't have your passport. You're trying to get to the consulate. It's kind of like a overly used scenario for some of these movies. It takes place in Greece. The dialogue is super redundant. They repeat just the same phrases over and over. Like he just goes from whatever farm to farm, city to city, going, I'm an American. I need to get to the consulate. I saw something bad happen. And then the bad guys show up and start killing people and he runs away. And then they just repeat that over and over and over. The acting isn't good. It's his worst performance I think I've ever seen. There's a scene.
Memory,
No, I haven't seen that. I definitely want to watch that. I don't want to watch that one. I don't want to watch it. You can't make me watch it. There's a scene where his hands are zip tied and he's in the car with these two chicks and he's like, oh, could you help me out with this? And they just...
You can't talk like that anymore.
Two chicks? Chicks is...
So derogatory.
Chicks is PC now?
It's funny. It's true, though. It's so free-flowing. It's such free-flowing dialogue. I just don't know how it's going to be received. I think you're allowed to say whatever you want on our show, Jordan. It was just... it just came out so quickly.
I'm so unaware of when chicks cross the line.
When chicks cross the line. Next
There's
time on NBC.
I meant chicks in the context of like the very, very feminist band, like the Chicks, used to be formerly known as the Dixie
There you
Chicks,
go.
you know?
Take away.
You know. But anyway, these two lovely women, they use bolt cutters to cut these zip ties. Like she just pulls a big pair of bolt cutters from her backpack and like cuts the zip ties. Like, yeah, she just had them. Like you don't have scissors or a pocket knife, anything else, a bolt cutter, and she just puts them back in her bag. Nothing is said about it. There's an action sequence in this particular one that is edited so sloppy. Some of just the sloppiest, dumbest editing. And it kind of just ends in him doing like that kid thing. Like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Stuart from the Mad TV show.
Let
Let me do it. Where he like sticks his leg out. You can't see me doing it, but he just like kind of sticks his leg out and goes, yeah. Like that's kind of how this action sequence plays out, and it was hilarious, but awful. I give this movie a popcorn.
Popcorn.
All right, I'm sorry. Jordan, you looked at John David Washington. You said you have to be good in this. It's in your blood.
Yeah,
but
it's your birthright.
I think they're all allowed to have clunkers. Denzel has some clunkers. If we look back, like in his history, like you remember Deja Vu?
That's looked upon well with some groups, bro. I don't know.
It's a cult movie for sure.
I gotta rewatch
Man
it.
on
I don't know.
Fire.
Man on Fire was great.
I don't think I've seen Man on
Are you
Fire, to be
serious?
honest with you.
You think Man on Fire
it's
was
not.
bad?
It was not good.
I'm gonna
One of
watch
his
it, and
best
I'm
movies.
gonna make it a
Josh,
point to watch it today, this week, and I'm gonna be the set decision. Yeah.
That's fair. The sliding
you're
vote.
the
The deciding
tiebreaker.
vote. Josh, we
Yep,
have a
Jordan.
sliding scale here. I'm not sure if you remember, but this is popcorn and beers, not. Oh wait, if it wasn't great, you hated it. It wasn't good. That's all I said. It wasn't good.
No, you hated it. Terrible.
I love that. It's like I just said it wasn't good. Oh, so you hate Denzel Washington? Wait, what? How did we get here?
This guy's a racist.
All right, so next thing I watch, I'll hit this really quick. I watched Lift. Josh has already reviewed it, and he reviewed it accurately. It was not good. It was an hour and 40 minutes of this from Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah, Smolder.
Feast days.
What do you mean I'm not hot and sexy? Like throughout the whole movie, that's all it was for an hour and 40 minutes of plot holes and stupid writing, stupid dialogue, just dumb. A popcorn. It was really bad. You don't have to watch it. Don't ever watch it. All right,
D'Onofrio couldn't save it, dude.
Stupid stupidity.
Jordan, what was next?
Yeah, so I watched it was babysitting duty last night, so I watched Lightyear.
Ooh.
Searching for a kids movie to watch. This is about my, I don't know, third, fourth time watching this movie, to be honest.
Oh.
Came out a little bit before we started the popcorn and beers, I think. So it's never been reviewed on here. Socks the cat, the little robot friend tag along that is made for merchandising purposes.
Yep.
Is a very effective use of that Disney trope. Very, very good little merchandising critter. Funny lines. Very cute. Loved him. It's pretty sci-fi technical for kids, though. I didn't watching this even the first time. I was like, this doesn't feel like a kids movie. They're doing this for the adults, the fans of Toy Story.
Also, he's not a toy in this, right?
No. He's a person.
Oh, yeah. The story of the guy, Buzz Lightyear, that the toy's made from.
Yeah. Yes. Precisely.
Well, lived in space, so I guess it's all a lot.
They had a cartoon for that. The cartoon came out like 10 years ago. It was actually pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Green Lantern type of situation. Anyway.
Yeah. They kind of retcon some of the stuff that you learn about Buzz in the Toy Story
What do you mean by that?
movies. I guess it's a movie's 2 years old. Everybody who's gonna see it has seen it by now. Zurg you learn in Toy Story 2, like Zurg, they do the whole "I am your father," and then calling him, he's like "Daddy" the rest of the movie. And in Buzz Lightyear, it turns out that Zurg is really Buzz Lightyear from the future. Becomes Zurg, and he's trying to stop this young Buzz Lightyear from doing Buzz Lightyear stuff.
So wait,
That's cool.
Buzz Lightyear's his own dad?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where your mind goes, having seen the old ones. And there's just a number of other little smaller things. You get all the callbacks of lines, you're mocking me, aren't you? And, all those Buzz Lightyear lines. You get those in this movie. It's great, fantastic animation, I thought. Really, really cool looking. Just Buzz Lightyear looks a little Proud Boy-ish. Gonna throw that out there.
Wow.
He looks a little Storm the Capitol-y. Yeah.
Whoa.
Sorry, Chris
Sorry.
Evans.
Sorry.
Sorry, Chris.
No.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. And I'm not the first person to say that, honestly. That has been said when the movie came out on Twitter, because Twitter, it was Twitter at the time, I think, because Twitter is, such a great place. That's the kind of thing you hear there. Popcorn to 2.
Pop 2.
Pop 2. Well, I watched Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief, on Disney Plus. It is their new TV show, and yes, it is based off the novel, and yes, they go exactly where the movie went. So there was really no point to this TV show. They did a few new things, but it was just the movie as a show. So a movie stretched out over 8 hours, and it was not well written. Like I said, it was the same thing. Like, they didn't change it. Like, start to take liberties. Now that you own the rights to the story, do something different. Don't just make the movie into a show. Like, have some fun with this. The best part was they turned Edge into Ares, God of War, which was cool to see Edge. If you're a WWE fan or a WWF
Edge,
fan,
yes.
yeah, it was cool to see Edge playing a character like that in the movie. It's cool to see some of these guys that you grew up with in wrestling become actors in some of these little TV shows or movies. But overall, it wasn't good, and I just gotta say, once again, Disney fails to land the plane on one of their shows because National Treasure was also god awful. It was bad.
That makes me sad.
This one was just like I'm not gonna say it was bad. It wasn't on National Treasure bad, but it just wasn't good, and it wasn't different, and they didn't do anything innovative, and I was just disappointed. It was lazy. They're cookie cutter now, just paint by numbers, lazy. They're not doing anything new. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, I said yeah, for sure. But Goosebumps, immediately my mind tangentially goes to the Goosebumps series. I feel happy. I gave it a bad reviewing for sure. It wasn't that great, but in that sense, I'm glad that they did take some risks. They reached for some things, and I can respect that. But go on.
Just be different.
Go
popcorn,
off, dog.
Popcorn. All right, and I've got one more review before we give you our new film for our Butter on Top and our new film for our Drunk Classic. I'm going to review Boudica, which is on Netflix out here in the UK. I'm not sure if it's in the US because I'm hearing you guys haven't seen it yet. But it shouldn't be there. It was a popcorn. It was cool because of the history. The action was actually pretty good. I will say that, but you'll see it when you watch it. The writing's really bad. The dialogue's really bad. The actress does a decent job. The director really wanted to focus in on the aspect of Boudica where she had been thought to have lost her mind because she saw spirits and the spirits spoke to her. And in this film, they use the spirits of her murdered family as the spirits that she's speaking to or that she goes to for advice, the spirits of her daughters and the spirit of her dead husband, mostly her daughters. But overall, they turn it into a Merlin story almost, where she has a magical sword. And I really wish they had just stuck to history. Yeah, they like a sword repairs itself in a river after it's cut in half. And it was just like, man, just don't do this. Do Boudica. Do Boudica, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. She united all of the tribes of Ireland to fight off the Romans. She was a massacre queen. She would crush the Romans at war with bows and arrows and staffs. You know, like she was a badass of badasses. And that's all we needed. And I think they just dove a little too deep into the psychosis that she was believed to have and to like a magical lore, like the supernatural. And it just wasn't necessary. So for that, I gave it a popcorn.
Popcorn.
I know both of you like history stuff. Historosies.
Yeah, Historosies, brosies.
Yeah, this was Badsies. Now, the audience should know by now, we lost a legend in the action movie genre, the Action Jackson movie genre, to be exact. Carl Weathers died over the weekend, which was very sad, and it changed my Drunk Classic. I had a comedy lined up, and I was ready for it, and then that happened. And so I had to go to the first film where that I can recall. I think in my head, this was the first film where I ever saw Carl Weathers. And he stood out to me because he's Apollo Creed and he's the best, you know? So it is a Rocky film, as you guys know, because I just named off Apollo Creed. But it's not Rocky 1. And it's not Rocky 2. I got started with Rocky 3, Clubber Lang, when they go out to LA and he trains in Apollo Creed's gym. If you haven't seen it, it was a great film for me to be introduced to at a young age when it came to boxing and like those action movies. One of the most famous lyrics ever is, "What you doing, woman? Come over here, woman. You want to see what a real man is like?" From Clubber Lang to Adrian. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it, but it also introduced me to the Eye of the Tiger. And I think it's going to be fun for the audience to watch. Have both of you seen that one already?
Yeah. You want to know what my prediction is for next week?
Yeah, I've seen it. It was so long ago, I so barely remember it. So we could call it a half point if we want to be fair. But I was very young when I saw it. So I'm interested to see it. Clubber Lang. It's always a winner.
Yeah. Probably throughout my childhood, I have seen that movie at least until I turned 21. I would probably say I've seen that movie at least twice a year.
I think this is the one I've seen the least. I've seen them all a lot, but this is the one I've seen the least out of all of them. So I'm pretty excited to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Remember, it is cheese. It is cheddar. It is. So just prepare yourself. But it is where I remember Carl Weathers first, prominently in my head. Next, of course, is Predator.
Yeah, Predator is a perfect movie.
But we're going to go with Rocky 3. And then, of course, we have a butter on top. Jordan, what can the audience expect from that?
We're doing some animated Netflix fun. So watch along with us. It's already out now. We're watching Orion in the Dark.
Orion in the Dark.
Yeah.
And the Dark?
And the Dark.
And that's cool. Well, I'm excited. We've been talking about Netflix shows. Animation lately is kind of banging. So hopefully it continues that way.
I'm excited. Are you excited, Josh?
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, don't get up because we're not done yet. Sit down. Sit the bleep down. We're not done telling our story yet. No, I'm just kidding, audience. That's a little bit of fun from They Came Together. That was our drunk classic this week. You should definitely check it out based on our reviews. But as always, we will see you at the movies. You get the popcorn. We got the beer.